Hi sweet friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Jeannie. Today I'm going to show you a few ways that you can decorate your home, particularly today your bedroom, in using thrifted and vintage and antique goods. So let me just walk you through how I have our bedroom decorated. As you first come in, to the right of the door, here's the door. I have this area decorated. This piece came with the house, with the bedroom here. I just put some corbels on either side and a candle, an Old Holy Night song, and there's a couple of antique things in here, some antique or vintage, mostly antique bridal Bibles, and a couple of vintage oil lamps. Okay, down here I have a cabinet that is antique. It's very old, and it's just attached to the wall there. I have a "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" sign and a vintage rocking horse. I love rocking horses. This is a vintage cupboard, like a jelly cupboard or a pie cupboard. Here I have a vintage crock with some pine cones and greenery coming out. This is my mannequin. This is Penelope. She has lots of vintage crucifixes on and necklaces, so she's all dressed up for whatever might come. This is a DIY jewelry cabinet that I redid. Also redid an old dresser that was I purchased new probably 20 years ago, and redid it with chalk paint and distressed it. This is a thrifted vintage brass champagne holder, like an ice bucket. And this is a an oil lamp that I thrifted. This was red down here, and I removed the paint because it was chipping off. So I'd like it much better plain. And I thrifted pretty much all of my brass candle holders except for this one. This is Hearth in Hand, and it's pretty too. Here is a beautiful oil lamp that I redid I bought it from the Goodwill, and it's really, really pretty. I shined it up and tightened everything up, and it's so beautiful. I love it. I have a lot of old baskets that I've thrifted over the years. I also thrifted this beautiful, beautiful tree. I love having it in here. It was very inexpensive, less than $30. And this that I have the tree sitting on is an old riser of some sort. I think they used it to roll out bread and stuff. It's really, really pretty. I'm not sure what the true name is. I've seen reproduction ones, but this is very, very old. It even has some areas missing, unfortunately. Back here, I have a beautiful World War II basket that used to hold mortars. On the back of it, it has some numbers on it, but I think it was part of the French military. They held it on their back. Some of them have like backpack holds. So I love it. I have some greenery coming out of it for Christmas. And nothing here is vintage, but I still love it all. Have more vintage baskets down here. And I also took an old perpetual calendar and just did some pretty little Christmas sayings on it. I'm just using old Scrabble tiles. I have a thing for Scrabble tiles. I think they're so pretty to make wording on. Here I have a vintage dresser that I redid. I bought it at a thrift store and redid it. I have an old crock here, and a that I believe I thrifted that, and I also have a beautiful little Afghan throw there that I have wrapped around the base of the tree. Also thrifted this beautiful cardinal stained glass here, and my son-in-law gave me this gorgeous, it's an old artillery holder here. It's a military issue. It's just a steel box. And another old basket. And I also have my olive tree in a antique crock. Hey guys. This is Florida, and we did have some beautiful weather, some cooler weather for winter last week before last. It was actually very chilly. It froze a couple days in a row, and then by Friday it was shorts weather again. So this is an old sewing basket. I'm not sure that's what they originally intended for them, but that's what I think they were used for, and I painted it white quite a few years ago, and I just really like it. This is a thrifted small bedside table dresser, and I repainted it as well. More Scrabble tiles, and this I thrifted. It's I use it as a Bible holder. These are all repurposed things. I got both of the white pieces off of an old hutch, and I painted them and distressed them. And the brown piece is a piece of architectural salvage that I got at a vintage market. This is an old trunk that I got at a yard sale. And it is very, very old, very, very rustic, but I love it. Another thing I love to use when I'm decorating for Christmas is old Bibles, particularly Bibles, but any kind of old books. But I really, really like the white ones a lot. And I thrifted this silver tray as well. Over here I have another piece that I had purchased new, and I painted it white and distressed it because I kind of got tired of the brown. So here's a thrifted basket and a thrifted little stool that I painted white and distressed. I remember years ago my husband and I saw a little tiny shop on the side of the road in a little bitty, it wasn't even a town. I'm not sure I'd want to stop there now. It's a little sketchy area, but this is an old drawer from some sort of cabinet, and it's extremely old. And I've used it for years, just like this, for a little display. And this is an old humidor that my husband purchased at an antique shop. It's pretty old there. So, and he has a thing for a few cigar boxes. And I always like to use pretty bottles or pretty decanters as to hold our water for our diffusers and such. Now this area here, I kind of redid this, the top decorative piece because it was broken, so I had to add to it. So I added the two little cream colored legs and distressed them. I have a picture here, and this is a Santa picture from the year before last from a Family Dollar, and one of my patients purchased it after Christmas for a very discounted rate and gave it to me. I love it. I actually made this sign right here just from an old piece of wood that I painted black, and then I used the technique with putting Elmer's glue on there and letting it get tacky and then painting over it with another color. So I painted over it with white and just took a Sharpie and did the writing on it and my little pitiful trees here. So anyways, I like it. It's perfect amount for right there. Another thrifted candle holder here. And this I bought off of Facebook Marketplace for, I think, $10. And it was very brown, and I just painted it white and heavily distressed it. And I have this my mom made for us about 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago now, because our anniversary is in January. So she made that for us, and she's gone now, so that really means a lot to me. I have our little stockings here, and I love the Rusty Bells, and you can find those at Thrift. You can find them at Hobby Lobby, wherever. And I thrifted one of these candlesticks here, and I just have some of the LED candles in them. Over here I also have a thrifted table. Well, I bought it at a yard sale, a table, and I love this. It's just such a great little size. I really enjoy it. So anyways, I have one more thing on this wall I'd like to show you. I have this pretty wreath that is not new and it's not old. It's Hobby Lobby from multiple years ago. So, and then I have this reproduction church attendance board that I purchased off of Etsy, and I love it. I still would like to find a real one, but I love any sort of church relics, religious relics. So anyways, that is the tour of our bedroom, all decorated for Christmas, with a pretty scene on the TV of a fire. And here, I'm not even sure if y'all saw her because she's so little and being so good. This is Daisy May. And she's snoozing, but she's such a sweet baby girl. She's an old girl, but she's my baby girl. Thank you for watching, guys. Merry Christmas, and I hope you enjoyed the bedroom tour, and hope you got lots of ideas of how to decorate. Now here are a few more ideas in our guest room, and I usually get a little bit more creative in here because it's something I don't do every day and people don't stay in every day. I purchased this recently. Hold on, I'm trying to turn this light on. I purchased this church hymnal holder. It usually is on the back of a pew. I purchased it recently at a antique store. And the books in here, this was my father-in-law's Bible when he was a child, and my mother-in-law gave it to me about a year ago, and I absolutely treasure it. And a few books that I have either thrifted or purchased for a small amount. These, so hymnals, and another Bible here. This is an old quilt rack that I purchased years ago. Actually, I don't even think I purchased it. I think I got it off of a fire pit, and I love it. And I was gifted this this quilt when I was going through chemo. Thank goodness it doesn't have any bad memories. And this is an upcycled old purchase that says Merry Christmas underneath, but I kind of like it better plain, so it was very primitive before. Here I have, this is just a file cabinet that I brought in here. I recently thrifted this lamp from the Goodwill, and I love it. It's antique and absolutely beautiful. I think it looks so pretty with this crocheted doily underneath, but it's so, so pretty. I have again decorated with some antique books that I just got at thrift stores. And this is an old Ray Dunn pot that I just turned around backwards and put a ribbon around it. These Santa heads were thrifted recently for just about, I think they were 50 cents for the two of them, and they were wreath holders that you put on your door. So I just took them off and bent the little side things so they would sit up straight, and working great. And both of these are thrifted wood pieces that I'm using as risers. I bought these little bells at a vintage market, but they were just like 50 cents. So, and these 3 Santas, I have several of them in another, I have several of them, I'm sorry, but I thrifted those years ago from a Goodwill. I have a mix of thrifted and purchased pillows here. Next over here I have a beautiful old box. It's very old. You can tell by the dovetailing on it. But I have a little collection of thrifted rocking horses. I love rocking horses. And a Saturday and Sunday sign I got at an antique shop for like $3 several years ago in Asheville. This is a thrifted little bench, little thrifted basket, and a thrifted Bible with 3 little thrifted Christmas trees. They're candles. Over here, this is as yet unnamed mannequin. I love this mannequin. I got it about a year ago at a thrift store, and I just I assume it's a male, but I'm not sure. I just love it. It's a steel base, cast iron maybe, but it's really pretty. I have some beautiful vining around her neck, and then a bunch of thrifted necklaces here. I have a beautiful chair here for our guests to sit, and a pretty pillow. Here I have a thrifted table. I bought it at the Goodwill a couple years ago, and I just painted it white and put some distressing on it. Here I have a vintage looking radio I've had for a couple years, and I really enjoy it. It looks really good in here. I have a old bowl that my, actually I think this one is truly antique, but I did thrift it. It has a beautiful piece of copper here to hold it together, but this is a collection of my vintage little Bibles through the New Testament with Psalm and Proverbs. And I have quite a few of them, and I love them. This piece here, let me step back a little bit, is an estate sale find. And I still want to strip it and make it a little bit lighter wood, but I just love it. So this is a thrifted what are the metal thing? I can't remember the metal, what it's called, with a coating over it. Anyways, this is a little yard sale tobacco stick tree, and a thrifted beautiful carved horse there. And I got many of these Santa mugs off of Facebook Marketplace, including some of the mini ones. So I just love, love, love the pretty Santa mugs, especially the white ones, but I love them all. These are thrifted pieces. These are bobbins off of an old sewing apparatus. And I have a thrifted candle holder over here. Another part of a sewing machine here. Big, like an industrial sewing machine. This angel is probably 25 years old. One of my patients made it for me. And I just think she's precious. And I have this adorable Santa's cookies that I recently purchased at a vintage market. I think it's so pretty. I know there's better ways to display it, but that's the way I have it now. I had this vintage high chair I bought at a vintage market years ago, and it was painted every color of the rainbow, which is fine, but so not me. So I brought it home and painted it white, and actually I painted it black first, and then I painted it white, and it turned out beautiful when I aged it, when I distressed it. This is an old angel that I purchased from a thrift store recently. It's handmade, and I found this darling little vintage necklace, and I put it on there, and it looks like a halo. I just think it's precious. A joy sign I've had for years, and this little sunflower wall hanging that I purchased off of Facebook Marketplace just a couple weeks ago. Here I have an old antique picture that I thrifted, and I love it, full of thrifted snowflakes. Here I have an old little bench, thrifted years ago, and a little tree that's handmade. I love handmade stuff. This is a big, beautiful apothecary jar, and I have, if you can see closely here, I'll bring you up close, I have a ton of the rusted bells, and they're all different sizes because I thrifted them at different times. I don't know if you recall, recently I thrifted or got these at a vintage market. They were $1 for 3 of those little gold bells. And here's more of the Santas that I thrifted as well. So I put those all in there together and just put a little candle ring around the top. So I love those. I thrifted these at the end of Christmas last year for $1 a piece at the thrift store. Okay, this is one of my favorite displays here. Now, most people do not buy these kind of graters anymore. I absolutely love them, and I need to get a real grater because I wouldn't use these to grate cheese or anything, but I've been using grated cheese that I had to use a little bitty hand one with, so I need to get another one. But I love these old graters, and I just have the little LED tea lights underneath them, and I just love them. I thought it made for a great display, and I thrifted all these little handmade trees. They're chenille and wool. So, and these are just a bunch of pine cones, just like what's in here too. There's a bunch of pine cones in there. So, my little Santa mugs. These are not vintage. These are from Decor Steals. They say Noel. I have a couple of vintage books here with an old antique but thrifted Christmas tree, and it had all the different colors, and they were bulbs that were half on, well, like a quarter of them were on, and all the rest were missing, so they were all glued on. So I took them off and just left it like that. I ordered some replacement bulbs the little replacement bulbs that come to the outside. They're just clear. They're not bulbs. They're just little plastic things that go on them. but they did not fit. So my husband's going to bring a caliper home so I can measure it, but I like it just the way it is. I think it's beautiful. I did purchase this on Amazon to be able to light it up with, and it was just like $10 or something. I have some old apothecary jars. I put some mini Christmas trees in here, and I put a little truck in here with some trees. Here I just used an apothecary jar, and I put a ball jar in the middle and just put some lights in there. And here's another old jar that I just have some trees in, and another vintage rocking horse, which I love. And while I'm in here, I know it's the bathroom, but I'll show you while I'm in here. So I have this decorated for Christmas also. This is an old Hobby Lobby sign, and I do believe they still have it. But I have some, I have this beautiful ornament box, and I actually have the ornaments as well, but I'm using the box as display. This is a handmade tree, and I can't remember what this is called right now. So I love that. Burlap. I thrifted these little pine cone candles, and I thrifted this little pitcher, like creamer, and another beautiful thrifted rocking horse, but I painted him white recently. Another thrifted rocking horse. He's so cute. And a thrifted doily. I love doilies, especially when they're thrifted, but I have 2 Santa mugs that are old, but I don't believe either one are thrifted, but I like them very much. I even thrifted my Hearth and Hand soap and lotion bottles. Here I just have another old, this isn't as old because it's resin, but I love rocking horses. So, and an old tree I bought a few years ago. It's a wooden tree. And this is a box that I got from Walmart a couple years ago for one of the mini trees. And I just put a riser underneath it and this thrifted mason jar thing. And it looks so pretty with a candle in it. But that set that I thrifted from Hearth and Hand has the room spray, lotion, and soap. And just put a little tree back there. And I have this little gingerbread sign, so I put my gingerbread mug with a couple of old Bibles coming out and an old gingerbread cookie cutter. So that is all for now. I hope you guys enjoyed the tour, and I hope you got lots of great ideas for using vintage, thrifted, antiqued, whatever kind of alternate decor other than just plain old store-bought at the retail stores. Lots of ideas on how to decorate for Christmas. I actually enjoy doing it like this because nobody else has the same exact stuff as you. So I hope you guys enjoyed and got some wonderful ideas, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. All right, so since I showed you the last part, I'm going to go ahead and show you this other spare bathroom here. So this is a thrifted vintage mirror that I just repainted. It had a great mat in it already. So this is a picture of a bird that I got from an old thrifted book. I just love it. Have this beautiful crock here with a beautiful tree coming out, and this is my little tree skirt. It's a little doily, and this is a thrifted stool. I'm not sure anything is thrifted here except for this little candlestick in the bottle. Nothing is thrifted over here. I thrifted this beautiful, and I should turn these on so y'all can see them. I thrifted this wall sconce, and it looks so pretty in here when you're taking a bubble bath, and it has these gorgeous lights shining. It's so pretty. Just a nice little ambiance. I thrifted this shelf, and I also thrifted this beautiful Santa in the apothecary jars. This is also a thrifted old crock. More vintage pictures here, little creamers, thrifted books. And I thrifted this little brick mold here. So it's nice to put tissue and stuff on the back of your potty. Also thrifted our trash can here that I use as my, it's an old wicker. I use it as my clothes basket in here. Because this is the bathroom I shower in. A thrifted stool that I painted. And here I put some snowflakes in here. This is an antique, but it's also thrifted. It's a just a ironstone. All this up here is thrifted. An apothecary jar, this pretty basket, and the pretty hand mirrors in it. And then I have a soap shaver here. So I added a little Christmas by hanging this snowflake garland in here and tying a bow over an old, this is a thrifted, possibly just a dresser shawl or hand towel that's fancy, but it's so pretty. I just couldn't just put it in a cabinet somewhere. So this is an old basket with that in it. Anyways, that is it.